Hey guys, Mike here coming at you with another Star Citizen video. And today's going to be my most professional attempt at a video to date. And not because we're doing anything fancy really, but we're sitting in the same hangar that we always are, but more along the lines of I found a topic and I was upset about it originally. And instead of getting upset, making a video, coming on here and being overly passionate about a topic, I decided to take a step back, really do my research, look at the facts, and come up with a conclusion. And today's video is going to be titled Star Citizen, the Funding Saga Continues. And a saga is defined as a heroic achievement over a long period of time. And Star Citizen's funding is exactly that. Since 2012, they've crowdfunded over $225 million. But this crowdfunding is having a little bit of a shift lately. And they've been teasing over the last few weeks their new ship customization system and the Origin celebration special event that they plan on doing to unveil it. On the last two Inside Star Citizens, they gave us a few first looks at the level of customization we can expect from things like chairs, ship paint, trims, bedspreads, and even coffee makers. All pretty cool, right? But the thing that I take issue with is the upgrade packages. And they're basically selling upgraded components for your ship for real money. And one thing that we've learned over the years is that the main kind of upgrade path or leveling path that we would have in a game like Star Citizen would be through our spaceships. So my concern is really along the lines of the fact that they're now selling upgrades for real money. And when I see something that concerns me, I think it's just correct that I address it. Now, I'm not the only one concerned about the direction that Star Citizen is going with their funding, and that concern has to come from somewhere. And for those of you that don't know the channel, or you're just finding Star Citizen through this video, Cloud Imperium has told us a lot of things over the years, and we got really excited about them. They were going to be different. They weren't the big bad publisher, and they were being so open with us, and we believed mostly everything they said. And part of that is because we were naive to what game development actually is, and they were a new company and weren't very good at communicating with us, and I would argue they're still not very good at it. But as the years went on, the things that they promised us, and that word gets thrown around a lot and unfairly a lot, changed plans. And they changed plans due to a couple of factors, but mainly the amount of money that came into the game, which then changed the scope of the game completely, caused a bit of a long development cycle, and that also led to a lot of backers coming in post-Kickstarter, which was pretty unexpected for them, I bet, as well. Now, again, for people newer to the game or just new to Star Citizen in general, some of these include no more LTI after July 6th, 2013. And LTI is lifetime insurance, where insurance covers your hull of your ship, so if your ship explodes or it's stolen, you're not going to lose it. And while it's a nominal fee to pay for insurance in the game to get your hull back, it is definitely something that most backers wanted. And originally, that was just supposed to be for very, very early backers, and then they extended it November of that year and have continued to sell it with people bringing in new money into the game only. Also, for years, everything for sale for real money would be available to purchase with in-game currency. Now, it's nearly everything. Not entirely sure what this means. This was in a recent QA post about the actual customization system, so I'm just kind of looking for more clarification on this and not freaking out about it too much yet. There was also the fact that we were told that Star Citizen would release with 100 star systems, and we don't even have one yet. So it's kind of hard for us to believe, therefore creating some distrust. But we're going to listen to Chris talk here, and I really want you to understand what Cloud Imperium's mentality has become about what release actually is and how they look at Star Citizen as a product right now.
it's a universe. I mean, you guys, but the way I look at it is, we're going to keep working at sort of the basic stuff that we've called out. There's a bunch of additional stuff we'd like to do beyond then, but I kind of view it as a live product. So, even when we say, okay, this is Star Citizen like commercial launch, we'll still be adding content, whether it's new locations to visit or ships or equipment or whatever. And myself and Aaron and Todd Pappy and Tony, we're all having a sort of discussion about what the core meaning, the core elements and the core technology that we felt would create an experience that sort of defined the game and also was worthy of playing, irrelevant of whether the full feature set is finished or all the content in terms of planets and locations is done. Because for us, when we think about release, I mean, we're really releasing every 3 months now.
So no, Star Citizen is not released right now, but they definitely look at the game more like your MMO that's out now, like a World of Warcraft or something like that, that they're constantly building upon. But they definitely have an idea of what a released version of Star Citizen would look like. Most people call it the minimum viable product, and the minimum viable product seems very far off of that original 100 Star Systems estimate. There is very, very obvious reasons why we will likely not have 100 Star Systems. Mainly the procedural planets, which are not in the original plan for Star Citizen, which are much larger, much grander, and honestly, much cooler. So it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, just another factor which may have caused that distrust. Now, there's also the fact that they told us that certain ships wouldn't be sold. And for some ships, mainly the Scythe, they kept that promise. But for other ships, the plan kind of changed for these limited ships, which during the sale, they seemed like they were going to be limited to the people who bought them only for that sale, and that wasn't necessarily the case. So, like the Ivdris and the Javelin, which they did make a response to that, actually in that November anniversary sale where they ended up starting to sell LTI again, they kind of explained that they couldn't change or edit their Kickstarter page, and that's why, and whether you believe them or not, it will undoubtedly cause some unrest or some distrust between people that put some money up at the time thinking they were getting something exclusive. And exclusivity sells. I mean, if you look all over the world, clothing, clubs, cars, everything, exclusivity sells. And Star Citizen has excelled at creating exclusivity through limited sales, where early on we didn't really know that they were going to be sold again. And again, those were sold again for many, many factors. The game's been in development for so long that there's probably been 1.5 million or more backers since that sale even happened. And those people never got a chance to buy those ships, and they may have wanted them. And you know what? It goes towards the development of the game, so why not? But at the same time, I can see where that distrust or concern maybe came from. And quite frankly, with the M50 sale, for example, I was upset about it. And then there was, more recently, the debacle that was the Star Citizen CitizenCon 2018 online watch passes. I'm not really going to go too much into that one. That was a disaster. They apologized. End of story. Over the years, Cloud Imperium's done quite a few things like that, and sure, we probably overreacted, me more than anybody. But when you add them all up, it starts to create a situation where I'm never 100% sure that their intentions are pure, and I know other people feel the same way. In the early days, Chris told us that they would not sell ships post-release, and that's still the case now. It was just going to be used to get the game out of the door. Post-release, he made a bet that selling in-game currency, UEC or United Earth credits, would be enough to keep both the servers up and paying developers to continue the progress with the game. And at the same time, that helps players that don't have enough time to play the game and experience a lot of things, so they can kind of get an upgrade a little bit and have more fun in the game without having to spend so much time. And don't worry, Chris didn't have all his eggs in the UEC basket. He wants to make this game.
post-launch funding. Another question that commonly is asked by prospective backers. Matter of fact, I had this one just the other night, pertaining to the subject of post-release funding. It's been said that you'll be able to buy UEC after launch, but many fear that this won't be enough to sustain the development, and we'll end up having to sell more ships again. Would you care to comment about this? In other words, what are your goals or plans for funding other than just UEC?
Well, no. Right now, the plan is that once the game's launched, that people will be able to buy UEC within a limit. They can't buy an infinite amount per whatever period we decide, a month, a week, whatever it will be, and then new people would buy game packages, right? So you would have, just like now, you buy your game package. I'm going to start with my Aurora. I'm going to start with my Hornet or something. So that would be there. We wouldn't be selling the digital ships like we do now separately.
Right.
And I'm hoping that's going to be enough to sustain like the servers and the ongoing like content and feature development. That's the bet we're making. I hope it's a good bet. If it's not, then I think
just add in something else, huh?
Well, I think the community that's playing the game, at the end of the day, if that turns out not to work, I think we'll figure it out as a group in general. But I'm hoping it will work. Look, if people are playing dumbass stuff like all the mobile, whatever, the Clash of Clans and stuff like that. I just think that Star Citizen, when it's all finished, will have hopefully a lot of people playing it. But I'm pretty sure it will, just because of the kind of sense of the world and the way you can interact and how people can do all these different things. And I think there'll definitely be a group of people that won't have like 40 hours or 30 hours to spend like flying around doing loads of missions and stuff, but they'll still want to have a cool looking spaceship or a cool looking weapon, and then if I was the rest of the community, I'd be like, yep, thanks for paying for the servers and all the rest of stuff. But it works for World of Tanks. It works for things like Clash of Clans. So I'm hoping I hope it works for us. If it doesn't, then I'm sure.
That's what endorsements are for.
We'll
start seeing you running around with different Logitech T-shirts or something.
Look, all I care about is making enough money to pay for the servers and keep on doing cool shit. So make the universe even better.
Chris was pretty confident back in 2015. Those were some of the glory days when the community was maybe a little bit more naive than they are today, as well as Cloud Imperium probably was as well. Regardless, there's only one fact that we know, and that's that Chris Roberts can and will do anything to make this a great game. There's no denying that with both the growth of the company and the scope of the project, that this is going to be an incredibly expensive game. And we, the fans, are still the main source of its funding. There are a lot of people out there, including myself, who feel at times maybe Cloud Imperium is using pay-to-win advantages with selling ships, in-game currency, and now upgrading components on the ships as well. It's becoming harder to create arguments against this. But instead of getting upset and making a video right away before I took a step back and really looked at the facts, this system of upgrades is exactly what Chris Roberts told us he would do all the way back in 2013 when he addressed the pay-to-win topic. No grind, no subscriptions, no unfair advantages to people with too much money or too much time, and no pay-to-win. I really want to touch on the third bullet point. He doesn't want to give an advantage to people who put a ton of money into ships, but he also doesn't want to give an advantage to people who have a ton of time to play the game. This is going to be an incredible task. I'm not sure it's possible. Obviously, people who play the game a lot are always going to have an advantage, whether it's in skill or reputation or whatever is going to happen in the game. We don't actually know. It's going to take years to realize if he can hold up his end of the bargain on the advantages for people paying and the advantages for people with too much time. But what I'm starting to see is him get away from the fourth point, and that's no pay to win. It just a little bit, and here's why. With the sale of in-game upgrades on the main upgrade path that we have in the game, which is our ships, people have the potential to skip hours upon hours of gameplay if you sell high-end components in the game. It's pay to win. That's just a fact. Okay? But what's also a fact is there aren't any high-end components being sold in the game. The highest level component, and you guys may not know this if you don't play the game a lot or you're new to the game altogether, is that the highest level grade component that we have in the game right now is a grade B. I fully expect A+, or triple S, maybe legendary, whatever you want to call it. And you also have a system of overclocking where you can get even more out of those components that are coming in the future. With that said, the upgrade packages that we currently have do exactly what Chris Roberts intended in that 2013 forum post. And it's to allow someone who doesn't have a lot of hours in the game or can't put a lot of hours into the game a chance to do a little more than what they normally could have with the amount of time they have to play. And one of the biggest issues is that, like with what I said before, that they're only selling the highest grade component as a B, that doesn't transfer over to the website. There's no stats, no information about any of these upgrade packages, about what they actually do to the ship. They have a little blurb that says that you'll have a better quantum drive, but they don't say how much better, where you can determine the value of your dollar and how much you're comfortable spending. So with the lack of information, most people are just going to say, oh, the most expensive package is probably the best one. And a buddy of mine, and a lot of you guys may know Texas Skulls, he's done a little bit of research on the most recent patch, 3.5.1c, where he looked at the prices of the components in the game and determined that the highest priced package for real money doesn't really represent that in the game at all. So me, somebody who plays the game pretty regularly, can earn the items that you're buying for real money in the game incredibly fast. So the system's also unbalanced towards the player who is spending the money, which is also not fair. My main concern is that it just won't stop here. That 2013 forum post is exactly that. It's just a forum post, and it's from 2013. And all I ask of Chris Roberts or anybody else that works at the company is to just address this. Let us know what your thoughts are. Tell us where the line in the sand is, that we will sell these components and we won't sell those, and let us have maybe a discussion about it, to what is fair to us as the backers and where you're at on what should be sold and what shouldn't be. But my main concern is that they won't stop at grade B components. And while that's only available in game now, I've heard nothing from them in any capacity that this is where the line is, that we're going to give players who don't have a lot of time a little kickstart and let them get out there and play in the verse with everybody that has, 5, 10, 20 hours, whatever it'll eventually be to get to that level. And I'm okay with that. My concern is that it won't stop there, and they'll start selling $500 packages to boost your ship up to the best in class of every component. And it really just begs the question, when will it stop? And the only way to find the answer out is for Cloud Imperium to communicate. And it's something that over the years they've gotten better at, but they're still not perfect. And I just make this video to basically cry out and say, please let us know what's going on with this system in more detail. Please be honest with us. Where is the line? Where does it stop? Because if it doesn't, there's no argument that your game is not pay to win. And looking back at what Chris's intentions are, I don't think that's your intentions. I really feel that maybe this is where it stops. Maybe a little bit further from here. And that down the line, we're all going to have to earn the highest end and the coolest things in the game, which is the point of playing the game. I just need to hear it from you. That's it. thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. I am so looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the subject. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much again. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.